Here we go. Here I am.
Yes, it's nice.
Cool hat.
Huh?
Cool hat. What does MS stands
It
for?
stands for Mississippi State. That's
Oh,
where I went to college.
cool. Cool.
Yes.
Very nice.
So I'm so happy to have you here today. I'm so excited about
Here
what
I
we're
am. Me
going
too. I'm nervous. This doesn't happen to me often. So here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Real Exchange. I'm excited for who we have on air today. We're going to get started with this interview in just a few seconds. So tell us your name.
My name is the whole name is Tsvetomir Naydenov,
Mm-hmm.
but you can call me T. That's what most people prefer
T?
to call me.
Okay.
T, as like tea with milk, tea,
Okay.
or just tea as a Mr. T.
Okay.
That's what people tend to prefer
Uh-huh.
when I give them the options between Tsvetomir, Tsetso, and T. So knock yourself out. Just choose your. I don't mind, and that's it. I'm a woodworker, artist, musical instrument maker,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things, and carpenter,
Carpenter.
40 hours a week. So
Nice. So, where are you from?
I'm originally from Bulgaria.
Okay.
Uh, I'm talking to you from Montgomery County, Maryland, as we speak. It's where I live with my family,
Okay.
and that's it. Uh, I have two kids, a lovely wife. I live with my mother-in-law on the land where my wife in her like family home,
Mm-hmm.
and been living in the United States for since 2007. That's 11 years now. Yeah, time passes by and it doesn't ask.
So how was your transition from Bulgaria to the United States?
Well, it you know I was young and it was very exciting, and it somehow it happened very softly and easy for me because initially my wife came. I was still in Bulgaria and I was still student in the National Academy of Arts of Sofia, Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
She came to study there, to study wood carving, which is, I mean, it's an unconventional choice for a beginner wood carver. But anyway, she ended up there and as a temporary student, and that's where we met. And then she went home, and then she came again, and it started getting deeper and deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and I came here for a while and went back and forth, you know, 2 or 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then we decided to get married and move here because
Nice.
there was no way we're gonna be separated more. So
Yeah.
that's how it all happens.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your professional experience? You touched a little bit on your education, but can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I started very early. I grew up in like quintessential communist concrete neighborhood in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
Like on literally on the 14th floor of a concrete building
Yeah.
was my first workshop on the balcony, and had a few tools and things and a vise and a little bench, and I was 8 years old, let's say.
8?
And there's a train track, like a railroad track, and on the other side of it there's this old woodworking factory that has a huge scrap pile.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask nicely, they'll let you go and pick up whatever they thrown away, which is like when you're 8 years old, what else do you need,
It's like a
So
wonderland, yeah.
absolutely, I spent
Mm-hmm.
hours on a trash pile, woodworking factory, doing my thing, and then in Bulgaria is there's a fairly nice network for little kids to get involved in all kinds of arts and things like that before high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a program that it's called, you know, the Children's Palace, let's say, and it has all those programs that are for kids to learn, you know, would it be like basic drawing, basic, you know, dancing, or like music,
Mm-hmm.
on like a very first basic level that is like very accessible, and one of those things was a wood carving, and considering that I was spending more of my time with, you know, chisels and wood, like my mother in particular had a bright idea that probably not a bad idea to send me to a wood carving class. So that's where I started, like age of like 10 probably,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very nice, safe environment for kids to do that, and it started kind of, you know, naturally like this. And my parents are, you know, they don't necessarily nudge me in directions, but you know, when I show some kind of interest, they just, you know,
They just push you in
help.
that direction.
Yeah,
Let you
they
flourish
just help you when you ask
and do
for
what
it. They
you
help
do.
you. That's, you know,
Yeah.
when you're curious, they don't, you know, no one might pretend that I'm going to be a lawyer or anything like that. Uh, I don't think I've ever thought of being anything different than that.
Yeah.
And since like that's what I'm selling, it's like the system was such that kind of was very helpful for me to transition between, you know, from being like 10-year-old in a wood carving class into a, you know, more serious. Then there is like places and people who can teach you to draw.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a private lesson, but it's, you know, again, it just, the system is set up in a way that you can learn that easily.
Okay.
In that it just, you know, it doesn't discourage you, and it kind of was easy for me to. I had that old lady that like taught me how to basic draw, and it just, again, it's so that I can get into a high school. That high schools, they're kind of, it's a technical high school.
Mm-hmm.
That you get a drawing exam. You have to, just the way you have your SAT or something like that, you also get a drawing exam. And with that grade, it's like a national drawing exam for all the kids that want to be in art school.
That is
so you get a drawing exam, and then it's for everyone. It's like, and then with that grade, you go to drawing school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like and the drawing school in my case was one that specialized in woodworking and wood carving again. So that's like step two. As I was 14 years old, I was already doing something, you know, that here is like shop class in college
Mm-hmm.
level. And by the time, you know, I was 18, I was also like, carpentry and woodworking was something that I could make living with.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to the army there, which is conscript. It's not voluntary.
Like you were drafted.
It was the last remnants of the pre-NATO army of Bulgaria that, like, everybody when they're 18, 19, or 20, and you're not in university, you go to the army.
Okay.
For a year. It's not a combat situation of any sort. I mean, this was like during the Serbia wars and those kind of things. But in any case, for me, it was just still, again, like a place where I practice wood carving a lot. It just so happens, like, it's carving always follows me everywhere, and I got into tattoos, and, you know, I can imagine like the standard army staff, and this was just for a year, and then I went back and I applied to different places, and fit or not, I got into the National Academy of Arts, which is a very interesting place. It is still transitioning from like the old model to meaning that for 4 years you get up there like as a master with a master degree, government sponsored, but it only accepts 8 people, and
so is it like competitive? Is it like a
yeah, it ends up being competitive because there's 8 spaces, and if you have more than 8 people that try to apply into it, you have no choice. And it's like literally 3 days of drawing exams. Like you draw for 3 days, and then you carve for 1 day, and it used to be that there would be like 200 people applying for those 8 spots. By the time I was there, it was like more like 40, let's say. But so I applied for 2 years in a row there. In the second year, I got in. But it used to be that self-selection that happens because of all the people that tried to get into it, and for me, it was easy. And I was prepared, and doing it for long enough. And it was hard for me. But before that self-selection, that kind of system, which is like in many ways corrupt and unfair. Just because people had to be there and like consult with the professors. If your grandmother's cousin friend ends up being like a close friend to the first cousin of the professor, you may have a better chance. There's kind of dynamic thing going on, but in any case, that kind of competition pumped up the skills of the people trying to get in.
Yeah.
To a level that is like, you're pretty much a fully accomplished artist by the time you apply to get in. And it just, the competitiveness of it all made it just so that people are really prepared and like they can draw and, on a level that is like, it gets there with a lot of work, let's say. But this slowly this is deviated because there's not so much interest in traditional crafts and academic drawing, and this is returning, I think, now with Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's people were just not interested into doing things by hand and have that approach. I'm sorry, I'm not looking into the camera. This feels like just the way it's set up, but because I have to look into the green dot instead of you. It's kind of feels strange that I'm like looking into the table. Although I'm saying this, I'm a product of a system. There you go, and that's what I end up accomplishing with all that work that I put into it, and that's it. It's been kind of easy for me to get where I am. Always been looking, and
so I on your website, like your website blew me away with all of your crafts. Like I saw your furniture, your guitars, and your props. Like, can you just go into? I wanna hear about how you started with the guitars. Like, that's really awesome.
The guitars are. It's pretty much when someone tells me you just can't do that, no matter how good you are and other things, you just can't do that. It's like there's something in me that it's like that. You know what I'm talking? I have a feeling from your smile that you know what I'm talking about, and it's like, and it just the world tried to convince you that the guitars are really hard to make, and it's just really not for regular human beings, and like you can make furniture and cars whatever you want, but it's like really a different thing, and it's not. It's with the powerful weapons of social media and YouTube and all the craftsmen. One of the biggest developments of our time is just all that free knowledge of highest quality that you can access everywhere. And it's been, I always wanted to play guitar when I was little, but somehow it was hard then to, get the way it was easy for me to get I had to choose between one or the other. And I chose the carving, so the guitar was kind of hard to get those things there. And when I came here, I didn't have any friends, or I had a lot of free time. It was before the kids were born, and I had a time, and I just started playing again. I've always been interested, because I like stuff, I like to have good stuff. I like, and I can't afford nice guitars. I can't, so I'm just make it. I want to make what I want to have. And
wow.
I had felt once or twice, and the third time it worked, and the fourth time it worked even better. And it just, I have not built that many instruments. Pretty much what you see there, it's what I don't, this is making the instruments is a hobby mostly and only. Because I really try to retain the pleasure of doing it. And it very quickly turned into a very mundane process that is not what I'm after at all. It's only and entirely for pleasure and a hobby. I don't sell them. I usually trade them for people who really want them. I can't tell you. And seeing the way you sing, I'm just really not going to call myself a musician at all. And I'm just a hobbyist, and the musical instruments and music is only a hobby for me, and it's one way that just I really love it for that reason. The reason I do a lot of furniture and carpentry work, which puts bread on my table. About the stuff that you see on Instagram and my website, most of those are like my love project. Those are the things that are like entirely my designs and my thinking. And of course, some of them are made. A lot of the furniture work is commissions, but only things that I've designed. Believe me, I make a lot more stuff than that, but it's mostly for other people, designed by other people, and it's not something that I take pride of the craftsmanship and the quality of it, but I don't like putting other people's designs and as my work.
I got you. Because
I consider design work first and the craftsmanship second. That's my simple philosophy. And so, of course, there's some of the work that I show as a customer work is, of course, done in collaboration with people, and it's. I think we're living into a renaissance of craftsmanship. Honestly, it's like second renaissance, let's say. Which Instagram is probably responsible entirely for that, but there is a huge revival of all kind of interest into handcraft and hand skills and just human touched objects.
Yeah.
As much technology, I don't know. It's very interesting, and there's so much creative power out there. I
love it because it's like like you say, with the increase in technology and all you can do with technology, we've gotten away from what we can do with our hands. What we do with our hands is so special, I feel. And to see people who can come up with ideas and put them into reality with their hands, that's just awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And once you get Yeah, absolutely. And it's it takes a community. It's hard to do things in a vacuum, and it's meaningless to do them in a vacuum. Uh, uh, you 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 end up doing. I mean, there's a pleasure of making objects but the pleasure of seeing people enjoying that what they do, and they may hate part of it, enjoy parts of it. It triggers them to do something. Would it be from just because they like it or because they don't? One way or another, it triggers them to do something. It creates ripples and waves that makes people do things. Would it be because they really hate it, or would it be because they really love it? And it's I don't know. It feels very interesting. And I have not done Instagram for a very long time, and I don't want to make Instagram topic of conversation, but it's very interesting, and I believe that makes people want to do interesting stuff and get better at what they're doing.
Yeah.
And appreciating other people,
Right.
And everybody's nice. I'm a troll. I troll people. Sometimes I see things that I don't like, and I say something that sounds wrong, like 3 years before, like just someone insecurities. And I realize that it's not my place to do that. I feel bad, but I do it sometimes. So I'm sorry.
That is so funny. So let's talk about this film project. That's what the meat and potatoes of this is about. And I've seen a little bit of what you've been doing with it, and I think this is gonna be great.
So this is an entire. So I work, as I told you, I work for that other company 4 days a week for overall 40 hours, and then I have 3 days to work on my own stuff, which includes the honeydew list, and try to spend the time with my kids, and I try to be nice to people that I should be nice to, and my wife stays at home just because just the way it happens, and just because we wanted to do something with the time that I'm working for. We're not after financial. We are very secure as it is, and and one of us working tends to take care of those things, and it's just like I don't feel well if I'm not creating anything. It's like if I'm not creating my own thing, like my own art in one way or another. And she's home, and the kids are now at school. She is being my wife, Marguerite de Messieres, known as Margot around here.
Okay.
And I'm mentioning her, talking about her so much because this project is entirely done by both of us together, participating even parts, and her, in my opinion, doing the hardest part, which is like doing all the production part of it. I make everything art related and participate in writing the script, and but she animates the whole thing, the composition, the light, the animation.
So she positions the props.
She does entirely all the artwork.
Okay.
Like not the meaning all the everything you see is because of her. Like on the movie, the animation, I made the puppets, I made the props, I made hammers and saws and ladders, and she has my lathe that I can't use because of that, which is painful, but we manage. And you'll see what I'm talking about if anyone sees it. And that's it. And so she works in this when the kids go to school, and she makes that. And it's an entirely self-funded project of love. That's it. There's nothing. It's not made for any particular reason. It's all just so that, you know, have to manage the other stuff, life that happens around. We can actually, you know, without giving ourselves that deadlines or, you know, a concrete time frames and stuff like that, to have something that, you know, we enjoy doing. And, you know, we're trying to get some exposure for it, but it's not to the stage that it's not an entire thing. It's just a short film called Blanks, and it's you have to see something at the point in order to know what I'm talking about, and that's it. It's very simple. Probably not longer than 10 minutes, if even 6, 7, 10. Something in that frame. And that's it. Still.
I was gonna ask what goes into making the puppets and the props, and what are some of the challenges that you face?
The puppets, there is no challenges. It's all fun. It's like I mean, those are the kind of things that I think when I'm, you know, when I'm driving, when I'm not sleeping, when I'm not making coffee, breakfast, or anything like that, fixing cars. All the entire time, I'm thinking about those dolls and things. Like, it all happens in my mind. It's for me, it's what goes into it. I mean, they're based on like very simple mechanics, and I'm trying to. We as a collective team don't have any advantages over a bigger studio or a filmmaker. We don't have any film education or anything like that. We do everything that we make, that you see, is basically just out of thin air. There is no. Not, of course, we have, you know, some kind of subconscious influences from everywhere. You know, we grow up enjoying this kind of aesthetic and admiring lots of artists, but we try to stay away and like use our lack of knowledge as our benefit, meaning like try to create something original as original in our mind again. You know, so my humble opinion. We'll let, you know, the viewers decide for themselves if it's original or not. But we did not want to have clay puppets or silicone or like metal armatures, or we wanted to do the art part of it and the puppets to be basically the things that makes it different. You know, since, you know, we don't have special effects or the technology or like the hardware required to do, you know, something spectacular, and we just can't. We just gonna have to go with, you know, with what we have, you know, and you know, thank you very much for liking it.
I mean,
you know, appreciation of people like you is basically what we're after.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's aimed at like young adult viewers. That's it. It's like wooden puppets interacting in a drip workshop. It's like the.
Can you? I see you have a one of them here with you. Can you like bring it out and show us?
Okay, I have one of them is right now set up in the very complicated picture down there, so I can't bring it. But this is the second one. Actually, that's him. That's Mr. Red. There you go.
Cool.
He has only one finger, one pointy finger.
Oh no.
They're made to be very they're now dried out. Their joints are supposed to be tighter, but there he goes.
Nice.
That's him. That's how big they are. That's just for scale, just to show you.
Do they have names?
Well, they don't have names per se in the movie, but since this one, red paper will play a very important role into the whole thing. And this guy got the red paper, so he's red.
Nice.
It's this.
Nice.
And the other one is blank, just because he's blank, you know.
Okay.
But he got other stuff, and here's the crow. The crow is also very important.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't know that yet, but he showed up for a little bit in the trailer. But there goes the crow.
Nice. They're so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Thank
They're
you.
so beautiful.
Thank you. You're going to be invited to the official premiere.
Yeah? What?
So
I'm excited.
you can organize one in Mississippi for us,
Wow.
and we'll bring them for you.
That's
I'm
awesome.
kidding, but we'll be happy to. Anyway,
That is awesome.
I don't know what you can see from here or not, but you can see there's better pictures on social media and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one-eyed brown raven, crow, whatever, something.
Okay.
Since we live near Baltimore, there you go, ravens big here. Just because our schedules are crazy entirely with like trivial things, and I'm sure everybody deals with, and you know what I'm talking about. Just
Yeah.
we're building our own workshop, and now the weather is not necessarily there to do that, and we are putting more time into those art projects, but soon enough we'll be working outside on the workshop more, and and you know that's kind of a priority, just since we want to move our own business and have our own space and be more serious about it.
Okay.
We don't like rents and
Yeah.
renting things, so
100%.
slowly, like independence is like pretty much what we need to function properly in our, you know, but that's, you know, hard for us anyway.
So we're gonna take a quick break and watch the official trailer that you guys have on Vimeo. So let's take a look at that right quick.
Sweet. Okay.
So let's talk about, let's get into a little bit of music. So you sound like you're a big music fan. Like
Music has been a like huge part of my life. Like yes, there has been music most of the time. You know, when you're in a workshop, you can't really watch TV or read, but you listen to music. And I grew up in a place where you're moving trams and like buses, and then you sit on like muddy bus stations and spend a lot of time walking through, you know, muddy streets and concrete buildings and things like that. And like your headphones are pretty much your best friends.
Yeah.
And so yeah, music has been always around, and I when you sent me the questions list, I was about like to actually make a list but I just that's not possible. It's just like it's not gonna happen. My music preference change like every day, and
okay.
like I have a new favorite song of the week, new favorite song of the day. You can. I'm pretty sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm no different probably than any other music fanatic. But yeah, I love music, but you know, nothing unconventional. Been playing a lot of guitar for myself, and that's it. I grew up in like a place with a very traditional understanding of music, and a very deep, rich history of their own music. But you know, I also grew up in a place where in the 90s, and where no one cool wanted to listen to the traditional stuff. So we grew up with MTV and whatever was good, considered good, in the 90s on MTV. And, you know, Alternative Nation best of albums and a lot of pirated everything. Every single piece of music that I used to possess, even bought from a store, was probably pirated.
Oh my gosh.
Like I don't have any original. I remember one friend of mine once bought from a kind of a thrift store situation one original album of a band that had like original CD with the original artwork, you know, like the big folder in the CD case. And we probably spent. This was like the band live. I don't know if you remember them from the 90s. But I remember we watched that. We like flipped through that artwork thing so many times. Like, wow, look at that! So this is what cities look like back, like the real world, right? You know, it's I like as much as I'm, you know, subconsciously, deeply inspired and formed by my own culture that I grew up in. I'm deeply inspired by, you know, Western culture and like hard rock and blues and all those things. And when I came here, you know, where like I really observe like real blues musicians, or like at least what's considered real around where I am, and you know, heard and being told what the real stuff is, and listening to it, it's like my mind gets blown on a daily basis all the time, and it's just part of my understanding and growing up that it's, you know, music is just part of it, and it's just beautiful and great.
So can you give us, even though you don't have a list, can you name a few of your top artists, the top musicians that you listen to?
Top artists, well, top artists, like I don't know, like many people, I can tell because there's like kind of a direct correlation toward the way the movie looks, and that's like pretty much the first presumption of people when they see the movie, and it's like the brother Quay, and there used to be a very famous video from the 90s of the band Tool, and one of their videos that was a groundbreaking for me and like blew our minds in the 90s, and it's influenced by the brother Quay, which is like, you may know them or not. I'm just going for you. They're a team of stop motion animators, British, with a very particular style. And there's this video for the song Sober. And it's like, you can draw pretty clear visual line, but my wife is not aware of that. Like she doesn't. You know, it's not necessarily like, you know, it's not But subconsciously, music like that was very important for me. Like moody hard rock from the 90s, Tool, Nine Inch Nails, classic rock, it's like Jimi Hendrix and Zeppelin, and I'm not gonna say anything unusual. Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, you name it. And you grow up, you start to discover the roots of it all, and it gets into the blues and Muddy Waters. And when it came here, it's like there's been so much Muddy Waters that it's like pretty much. I have this friend of mine, like a very accomplished blues musician, that kind of took me under his wing, and it's basically in a pile. Like he's old school CD man. So there is like, I don't know about your world and how much is like the mixtape, still exists, but I can tell that mixed CDs are very big, and I'm like fully, deeply immersed into the blues for the last probably 3 years or so.
Wow.
Blues all the way.
Wow.
I love it more and more. But I listened to like the last song that like really, really just like drew up a hole in my head is like I have it posted on Facebook a few weeks back. It's about a singer called Skip James. It's Killing Floor Blues. It's recorded on. It's a record from a time when he was. Like, this was probably a little bit before he died. And it's a record from Germany. And the quality of the record and his voice, it's just like absolutely unbelievable. It's like, and I don't know. It's very, very strange. It's something that's just so itself, even though it's like the blues chords and the whole thing. It's kind of the same, but it's like his voice is like there's nothing like an original voice. It's so good, and the quality of the recording is so good. It's really nice. But this is just because I have to say a favorite song, and it's like this is like that I just have in my head as we're talking, and but this kind of thing like kind of shakes me nowadays. The music for the movie is made by a friend of mine. His name is Theodor Nedes. He corroborates with a studio musician by the name of like Saturated Pixels. So they put this song together for us. Then that song, it's like a melody. That is a theme of the movie. Okay. And it's gonna run throughout again. Can you imagine the budget is zero? So just a lot of good friends. That's what helps us to know the things.
Well, I guess that wraps us up for today. You've been awesome, and I'm excited to get this out there. Like, I want people to see this. I really
thank you so much. Thank you so much one more time, Amber. It's a real treat, and I like your attention. It's thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a compliment when and talented people compliment you, and it has such a it's very hard not to feel good about it. And thank you. And just one more time, I want to underline that nothing here happens without my wife, and
yes.
She is.
I hope to have her. I hope to interview her as well, because she looks like she's an amazing artist too, and I like to get.
She's in her own right. We are very opposite, like from the things that we do in our art, and but as either just we complete each other and our work in a way that is. My work is a lot more violent and hers is much milder, and it's like things like kind of get it mixes well in a way. I don't know.
Cool. That sounds wonderful.
works works for us. Works for us, and I'll let everyone else have their opinion on it. In any case,
Mhm.
and if I can help anyone, if anyone needs advice or opinion or help with anything, I'm in Montgomery County, Maryland, and I've helped a lot of people, and I've been helped by a lot of people myself,
Mhm.
and everyone can contact me, and I have no secrets, and it's I don't think secrets help anyone, and maybe not clever enough to make those kind of conclusions, but you know what I mean, right? When it comes to carving puppets, there's no secrets that I'll keep or carving anyone.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're very sweet.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.